Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Carol. I'm an author, a healer, and a fairy whisperer. And I work with Morgen and the Fairy Sisters of Avalon, and indeed the entire fairy realm. And I just want to really welcome you to where I'm at today. I'm actually in a new place, a new setting. During my last video, I told you I was being guided to move. And indeed, I did at that point take off for New York City. And I know many of you are going to say, a fairy whisperer in New York City, why? I was questioning that as well. I had no idea. Well, I did have an idea why I was being sent here, but it has been quite a magical experience. And they want me to share some of the things that have happened as I've stepped out onto this new path, because apparently it's going to be very pertinent for many people. Then also gift you with a fairy message and blessing as we're going into 12/12. So I was sent to New York City two and a half weeks ago. This is starting into my third week. And I literally came for an audition in New York and frankly nailed it. It was quite wonderful, made a beautiful connection with someone who's going to help me get my one-woman shows out into the world here. And you might be saying, well, why is that important? Everything I do as far as writing and performance all ties back to the fairy realm. And I know most people might not be aware of that, but it does. And so they're planting seeds in so many different areas for me to actually be getting the message out. And that's one of the reasons why they sent me here. Now, my first 2 weeks, I was situated in Brooklyn. Blessings to you, Sandra. Thank you. I really was not... I was a bit on the path with the Fae, but it really was about survival. And this is what they want me to share with you right now. The message, climb every mountain, is so important for so many of us because we've stepped out on our path and yet suddenly challenges come forth. And you start to think, well, wait a minute. If I'm on my path, why are these different challenges coming into being? I don't understand. I mean, am I doing something wrong? And this is what Morgen and the sisters, and indeed all my fairy guides right now, are wanting you to hear. No matter how much you are on that path, if there are things that are still within you that need to be brought up for you to look at and address, then they are going to come up and they can appear as a challenge or a test. And this is exactly what happened to me. I was met with blessings when I arrived here, and then suddenly, challenge after challenge after challenge. And they did seem like tests. Yes, indeed. You're very, very welcome for the 12/12 message. Now, the tests, if you look at them, are really this aspect. Hello, is it Shanae? Love you all. These 12/12 messages are about how we meet the challenges. Are we going into the fear mode? Which I have to admit to you, because I'm in a great big city, I did do that. And I was like, I don't understand why this is happening. And they do want me to share with you some of the things that were happening. And believe me, there's a purpose behind it. So one of the first things that was happening was financial. And I'm sure many of you can understand this. But suddenly, money was being blown through so quickly because it's so much more expensive here, and because I was making some decisions that was not going with the flow. And by making those decisions incorrectly, I was being taught, you need to listen to what is being shown you and not think, oh, maybe I'm supposed to do that. Go with it immediately. Here's something they want you to see. So they say, be specific. It was probably my third day in the city, and it was raining, and I was going out for a walk in a very tiny park in Brooklyn. And I heard very distinctly, keep your cell phone in your pocket. And yet I pulled it out because I wanted directions. And the cell phone literally dropped on the ground. Now, I didn't realize at that moment that I had broken it, but I did. But what happened was I put it in my pocket, and then I was met by a hawk, which is one of my chief spirit guides. And of course, the animal guide is coming to me and the fairy realm. They're all together speaking through the hawk. And it was saying, stay in spirit. No matter what happens, stay in the divine light of spirit. And so the hawk let me I literally was this close to the hawk, like this. And I understood and I said, thank you, and sent it blessings. And I kept wondering in my mind, where was this hawk coming from? Because there was no place for it to go. This was a little dog park, a few trees. So I was concerned for the hawk, but the hawk then flew away. And then when I got back to the Airbnb I was staying in, pulled out my phone and I saw it was shattered. So that was one example of, it's not that I was going against what they were saying, but they had very clear guidance for me to keep that phone in that pocket because they knew there was a possibility it was so wet that it might slip from my hands. And so at that point, then I had to go find a place to have a phone repaired in Brooklyn. And I didn't know Brooklyn, and I didn't have a car. So it was me, navigating a subway system to get to a place without a phone guiding me to get there. So it was a very interesting time. But at the same time, I had tremendous blessings coming through. And by the time I reached this week, which is going into my third week in Manhattan, they guided me to Upper Manhattan across from an incredible park called Fort Tryon. And you might be familiar with it if you know New York City. But this is a park with acres and acres of forest and woodlands. And so my first day, when I arrived here, I could see the park from the Airbnb, but I was told I had to do other things first, like get food, stop at a library to make connections with people in this area. So I did all those things. And as I was at the library making my connections, I heard very distinctly, go to the park. And so I went to the park. And just to describe this area, this is why this video is called Climb Every Mountain. I was going straight up a very tall hill to get to the top where there is a museum called the Cloisters, a very famous museum in New York. And then as I was coming down, I was following divine guidance, and my hawk friend appeared again, my guide, and flew from its nest onto the path below where I would be walking eventually, and made 3 circles, divine 3. And of course, at this point, I knew something very important was about to happen. I was asking, is this where you want me to move? Am I going to relocate here permanently? Because I'm still in Airbnbs at this point. And so the hawk flew back up to its nest, and I proceeded down into that area of the path. And suddenly, and 12/12 is a major time for romantic encounters to occur, a man started approaching me, and he was staring at me, so I knew this was going to be very, very intense, whatever it was. And it truly was a romantic meeting at this point. And the fairy guidance that is coming through right now, for all of you that are looking for a romantic partner that is 5th dimensional and spiritual and on the path, they want you to realize that you're going to be brought into situations, even if you're currently in a romantic union, where you might be meeting up with someone who is vibrating at that level that you are wanting. So they're saying be more specific. If you're saying you want someone that understands 5th dimensional thinking, that understands nature spirits, fairies, that understands animal guides like the hawk, that, will love and honor you and respect you for where you are at, then you can literally put that out there and be brought together with that person like that. Now, they say, to continue with my story, we met. It was very intense. We ended up going back up the path to the Cloisters Museum, went through the museum together, and we had a very brief time where we came together, exchanged incredible amounts of spiritual knowledge, vibrated very strongly, had a very strong romantic interlude, and then it was over, and we went our different ways. And you might be thinking, well, Carol, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something lasting. I am too. And I'm not saying that encounter that was gifted to me by the Fae, by the divine, by my ambassador, the hawk, is not ever going to come together again. But we are meant to come together very intensely for that moment to birth a new energy for 5D. And so many of us are going to be brought into these situations where we're coming together with these other beings. And it can be romantic. It can be, just two people meeting together where you're going to have these intense moments of spiritual conversation, insight, where your energies soar together. And then it might be over just like that. And you continue on. Or if you're in a mindset where you want something like that to continue, then the Fae are saying, make sure that you keep in that same vibration as you go through the next day and the next day and the next day, so that you continue to attract this into your life. Now here they want me to pause. They're saying, and this is Morgen right now, that they would like to gift you today very specifically with a gift from Avalon, so you can be birthing your own goals, your own path on 12/12, because this truly is your gateway into the new world. So they want you to take a moment right now, and you might have already done this, but if you haven't, write down the different goals, the different things that you want to be doing in 2020. They're saying it can be with a pen. They're showing me a quill pen. I don't know how many of you have quill pens. You can write it with chalk, with crayon, with paint if you're an artist. But write down very specifically what you feel you are here to bring forth. And it can be one thing, two things, three things, more. Okay? It can be what you feel are the most important things. Morgen is saying, be specific. And she's saying, give them an example. For instance, I am grateful and thankful that I have found the very best new lodgings for myself and my cats. And then you can go through, it can be you and your family, whoever you are looking to have a new lodging with. And then the setting you're looking for, in a beautiful forest setting where we may share divine love and light with all beings on earth. And just make it something very clear and concise like that. They are saying, Morgen is saying, there can be no negativity attached. So even if it doesn't seem like a negative, for instance, I want the very best affordable lodgings. That would be suggesting that you don't have the income. So instead, I'm grateful and thankful for the very best new lodgings for myself, Ario, Phoebe, and Galahad in a beautiful forest setting where we may love and bless all with fairy light. That is a positive. And what they want is for you to write that down, and any other goal that you want to bring forth in positive terms, write them down. And now Morgen is coming forth. She's asking you to hold forth your hands. And what she is doing is she is calling forth all the fairy kingdoms. So we're seeing earth, air, fire, water fairies. And they are each throwing up into the air. It's almost what I would call fairy dust. And Morgen is capturing them in her hands and bringing it together with her blessing from Avalon. May you be blessed in this 1212 gateway with fairy love and light. May you have strength and courage to climb every mountain that is brought forth, to face every challenge with love. May you know that you are truly on the path of the divine, and that you are supported by Avalon, by the fairies, indeed by the divine in everything you do, so that you in turn are blessing all who you come in contact with every day and in every way. And now I see her taking her hands and opening them. Shayla the unicorn is coming forth and placing her horn into that mixture of fairy dust. And now with unicorn light added, Morgen is going to gift you with fairy dust. And so what I see is her picking up the piece of enchanted dust and placing it on the goal, the new earth blessing that you have written out. If you have more than one you have written out, there is an abundance. See that she is also placing the golden dust on each and every one of your goals. And now she wants you to sit in the energy of the moment right now. Can you feel the fairy energy literally swelling up through the balls of your feet, through your legs, your torso, all the way up your throat? It's coming back to the heart again, up to your head, out to your arms. They want you to stay in that beautiful sensation of love and fairy blessing. I hear questions coming up, and I don't know whether it is from the people that are currently watching or whether it is people that will watch this. The question that they are asking right now is, if fairies are from the fourth dimension, how are they gifting us with blessings for the fifth? You must realize, and this is Morgen speaking, that the fairy dimension already vibrates at fifth dimension and higher. Oh my goodness, they're showering us. I don't know if you can see this right now, everyone, but bright flashes of light. And so anytime that you connect with the fairy realm right now, you will be transformed into that higher dimensional light. So what she is saying, everything that you have written down, keep that with you, no matter where you go each day. If you have a purse, put it in your purse. If you have a wallet or simply a pocket, you may fold it up. But when you feel the challenges arise, pull this out again. See what you've written. Feel the fairy enchantment about it. And stay in that higher space. She is saying, the more you stay in the higher space, the faster you draw this into your now. And what she means is that what you have written down is already created and occurring in the fifth dimension. All you have to do is hold this. Keep in that thought, and this is no matter what happens during the day. If someone comes to you and is cruel to you, bless them. If you don't feel you can say the blessing to them, think it. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. If you are out walking in society and all kinds of craziness surrounds you, send the blessings out from your heart and watch how that can be transformed and changed. They're saying so many things right now with 1212 will come before you. Know that you are seeing them so you can transmute them. Any memory from the past that makes you say, oh, I can't feel that again. See it, transmute it, feel the fairy energy come and literally take you back to the sensation we had as Morgen blessed your goal with fairy light. I'm wondering, does anyone right now have questions about this fairy Avalon message that has come through on 1212? Is there any question that you would like me to ask Morgen, the sisters, the fairy realm? Anything you can think at all right now? All right, I'm asking for any more messages for all of you. I'm simply receiving the highest level of love and light again from the fairies. So dear ones, as you continue to travel through this beautiful 1212 gateway of the full moon, know that you are held in the highest reverence, that you truly are fairy love and light, and there is nothing that can bring you from this point and place of being. I thank you all for tuning in today. I send you lots of love. I will remind you of my website, everythingfairy.co, where you can communicate with me if you wish. You can book fairy readings, fairy workshops and classes. You can sign up for them. You can purchase my books there. We have the new Adventures of Maid Marian, Healer of Sherwood Forest. I am still looking for people to review that, so if you're interested, contact me at carolweekland0706@gmail.com. Thank you, all of you, dear ones, loving you. I am not resonating with my husband anymore. Oh, bless you, dear one. This is unself, Y-I-Y-L. I'm calling into Morgen right now. All right, what Morgen is saying about the situation with your husband, I can identify with this in regards to a family member. They're saying the more you hold fifth dimensional energy, the more that person vibrates at a higher realm. Now, the other message she has for you is to feel into your heart, dear one, and see if it is time for you to move on. Because we are at 1212, this is the time for moving on and moving into new relationships. Ask yourself, ask if you wish Morgen to help you and guide you so you can see all of your available options. But do know at this gateway that you can move on if indeed that is what you are being guided to do. So that is my suggestion to you, dear one, unsealed. If you feel guided to move from that relationship, now is the perfect time to do so. My fairy blessings and love and light to you and to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And fairy blessings one and all on this 12/12. It's Carol and Morgen and the sisters and all the fairies signing off for now. Fairy blessings, dear ones. You're guided to move on. Yes, then I would counsel you to do so, dear one. I know we're not signing off then yet. We need to follow this through. If you feel guided to move on, then I know this is hard, but this is exactly what I did. Call on the higher self and see where they want you to go. And then do it. If need be, buy a bus ticket or that they're saying to share. That's what I did. I left my car in Ohio and I bought a bus ticket to New York. This is a very affordable option if you don't have a lot of money. That was a negative. They say don't poison that term. It is a good option for many people to take a bus when you're moving into a higher light. They're saying also, when you step out onto the new path on sale, there will be people who come to meet you that will propel you forward. So make the move and know that you are fully and divinely supported, dear one. Blessings. How is Morgen? Morgen is absolutely in a divine light. As I see her, she is shrouded in blue light. It is the blue sacred Avalon hooded cloak that she is wearing. That is of the fairy goddess. And she literally is here for each and every one of us with the divine fairy blessing she gave our different goals. And so she is in her highest form and sending you all love and light. All right, dear ones, I'm checking for any other questions. Yes, blessings to you. And you are very, very welcome for the advice. All right. Why won't he answer me? She was the dreamer. Are you calling out to your other self? For those of you not familiar with the term, that is the Avalon term for twin flame. Is that who you're talking about? She was the dreamer. I'm going to go with the assumption that that is who you're talking about. This is a tough one to understand, but sometimes, thank you for the confirmation. Sometimes our twin flame is all the way across on the other side of the earth, and we are only meant to be together on this earth through spiritual communications. Now, they're saying to me for you, dear one, that the higher you vibrate, the more he will vibrate as well. So take your fairy Avalon blessings and hold them close. Realize that the more you work on yourself, the more he will vibrate into a higher state. But we cannot force that. If you go back to the situation I gave with you, me meeting a divine partner, and it was only for a day, you must realize that that was us both vibrating at the same level. But we each have different paths to walk right now. And she was the dreamer. I believe it is the same thing for you right now. You are continuing to ascend on your divine path and getting, oh my goodness, okay, she was the dreamer. What I'm seeing and they're saying for you, be open to a new love on this 1212 gateway. And the gateway is not just today, tomorrow, it extends. Clearly on your piece of paper, write what you want in a divine union, in all positives, and then hold that with you. Take it with you everywhere. If you can, hold it against your heart. Do so. And trust, know, and believe that you are going to be united with someone in the coming days. It will not necessarily be the one that you are talking about. You are being sent someone that will vibrate with you at this particular gateway. Allow it to happen, even if it is only for a moment, like I had happen. All right, let me see here for a moment. And the times I took fairy magic baths. Oh, I love that you saw mushroom or saw the magic when you took the mushrooms, blue $5. You saw the fairies. Know that you can always see them even without mushrooms. Keep yourself open. Remember, fairies can appear as orbs, sparkles, whatever they want for a reason. Okay, trust, believe, and it is so. I love that unsale. That is so gorgeous. That is the fairy showing you spinning your own tail, weaving your own tail on your path. That's what the spider is representing. That's gorgeous. She was the dreamer. I'm so sorry. I know how that can feel, dear one. You must and realize that is part of what you are learning, but you are moving above that. Remember, write down what you are looking for. Allow Morgan to add her blessing to that. And then if you can, keep it close to your heart. So whenever you feel that sorrow of not being with the other self, pull it out and look at it again and allow that fairy magic to keep your vibration high. Okay. All right, dear ones. I think that is all for now. Bless you all. And I do thank you for tuning in. And once again, if you need to reach me, you can contact me through my website. And I really look forward to connecting with you again in the future. As I said, I'm in Manhattan right now, Upper Manhattan, and I really don't know where I'll be the next time I reach you. But I look forward to it in the coming days. All right, fairy blessings, one and all. Carol signing off.